Comic book movies are kinda hit or miss, but I'll be honest, I'm such a comic book movie fan that even the worst of them I can find something worth watching in. Yup, even that one. And welcome back to the heart of the stories we tell, where today we're going to do another Sensational 7. Why a 7 countdown? Because I have a little more energy than those that do top 5 countdowns, and a little less than those that do top 10s. Either way, I just like the number 7. So, without further ado, today we are going to talk about the top 7 comic book movies. Now, it would be easy enough for me to literally just pick my 7 favorite Marvel movies or my 7 favorite DC movies, so it's going to be really hard for me not to load this list down with MCU movies, to be honest. But I'm going to do my best to give you 7 beyond the awesome comic book movies, starting with number 7, The Losers. Not superheroes at all, but a group of mercenaries. It's an action comedy with some really great scenes in it. If you haven't seen it, go check it out today. Number 6 is a comic book movie that isn't about superheroes so much as a deconstruction about superheroes. And of course that means Watchmen. They may have changed the ending a bit to make it more modern, but at the end of the day it's probably thematically the most faithfully adapted movie that we have on this list. Number 5 takes us from DC to Marvel, and from faithfully adapted to, I don't even know what it's based on. Guardians of the Galaxy isn't anywhere near the Guardians of the Galaxy I'm used to, nor the origins for several of the characters, but it's probably one of the most interesting of the Marvel movies to date, and definitely blew away box office numbers. Number 4 is another Marvel movie that was a shocker. The first rated R superhero movie, Blade. It holds up surprisingly well with action, a little bit of dark humor, and a whole lot of comic book craziness. You should definitely rewatch this one today. For number 3, I'm going to cheat a little, because I'm not putting a movie in number 3, I'm putting a trilogy in. Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. Picking which one is the best, probably easier than I care to admit, The Dark Knight. But all 3 of them make one huge story, and since we count stories, I think that should count. Now, counting to number 2, we're going back to Marvel, and yes, to the MCU, to one of the greatest superhero movies I have ever seen. A comic book movie that isn't just superhero, but a spy thriller. Specifically, Captain America, The Winter Soldier. Now, I could rave about that for hours, but for now, let's move on to honorable mentions. And I'm going to mention one that everyone's going to disagree with, and one that I hope you'll all agree with. I liked Batman v Superman, and if I had a little more room on this chart, I probably would have found a way to put it in there. However, the other honorable mention is Hellboy, a more independent, less Marvel and DC superhero, and definitely worth the watch. However, my number 1 movie goes back to regular superheroes. In fact, back to the first superhero, and the movie that made us all believe that a man can fly. It may be nostalgia, but Christopher Reeves has always been my Superman. I don't know if anything could ever replace that in my heart as my first and favorite superhero movie, comic book movie, or any other movie, perhaps. So just to recap, we started off with number 7 being The Losers, a funny action movie. We went to Watchmen, a depressing superhero deconstruction. We then went to Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not even sure if it is superheroes, but you know what it is? It is fun sci-fi, and it's definitely based loosely on a comic book and firmly in the MCU. Then we went to number 4, Blade, and Blade was horror, and Blade was rated R, even before that other superhero movie that's also awesome was rated R. At number 3, I cheated and got the entire Nolan trilogy in, but number 2, beating even the Bat, was Captain America Winter Soldier. And finally, my number 1 movie was the number 1 superhero, Superman. At least until they make a Booster Gold movie. A Booster Gold movie might actually unseat that. So as we walk through the heart of the stories we tell, I don't really have an excuse why I did this list this week. In fact, you're just going to have to get used to that sometimes, because superheroes are kind of one of my favorite types of stories, so I use them a lot, and this was just a fun list for me. I hope you all have a good week, and will join me back here on Monday when I'll try to do something a little more relevant to getting to the heart of the stories we tell. Thanks for watching.